Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Believe podcast. I'm Megan, and today we have a very special guest. We have Ross Wither and his wife Megann Wither. Welcome, guys.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate you having us here this evening.
Well, we're very excited. We always love a patient story. They're so fun to share and connect and, hear a story that's like yours. So we appreciate you for being here and sharing your story so that you can help all of the people out there that are tuning in that maybe are just at the beginning of their journey or they've been doing it for a while. I think it's beneficial no matter where we are in our journeys.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be where we are today without the people that have helped us along the way. We're so grateful.
This community we've unfortunately, I say, become a part of. I'm glad that the community exists, of course, but it's wonderful to be here.
It's the club no one
Yeah.
wants to be in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
That is what everyone says, the club no one wants to be in. And I'm sorry that you're in the club, but I am glad you're here spending the day with us. So, Ross, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do?
I have been a stay-at-home dad for a little over 10 years now, and I have 4 kids. So what I like to do is enjoy silence. Um, I enjoy video games and hiking and camping and pretty much anything outdoors that doesn't involve gutting or skinning something. But yeah, the pretty much kids and anytime we can take a trip.
That's awesome. And I hear you're on YouTube.
Apparently, Megan has become sort of a social media. I don't want to say guru, but
no, not very far from guru. To be honest, when we first started this journey with Ross, I was so overwhelmed with what we were supposed to do and where options were, and we had a whole bunch of information that was coming to us. And I went to the Cure Insight website and I tried to figure out what was going on. But when you're in that panic state, it's just so hard. And one of the things that has been such a wonderful byproduct, I guess, of this journey is seeing that Ross has main character energy, and it's funny to me, and I love the quirkiness that he shares with me, and so why not share it with the entire world? And it's just a really convenient way to keep people in touch with what you're doing. We had so many people, not only were we overwhelmed with all of the things that were being discovered at that time, but also overwhelmed with the support that we were getting. And so,
I heard from people that I haven't heard from in years saying, "Hey, how are you doing? What can I do to help?" And
we
it was
know.
great. It was great to hear from people, but I had no idea what to tell them. It has become a really good way for us to just kind of update everybody on our status on a regular basis, so we don't constantly get the question of, "Hey, how's everything going?" We can basically just say, "Hey, check out the website, check out YouTube," and that'll tell people most of what's going on.
Or, I mean, we'll record a segment because not having to tell the story again and again and again, it just gets draining sometimes, especially when you're in the very beginning of it. And so for us to be able to post that on Facebook, to have a Facebook group dedicated to Ross's diagnosis and journey with all of this was very helpful. We understood that very quickly people wanted to know what was going on. And we knew that we hit a milestone when somebody found us on Google or TikTok or YouTube, wherever it was, and said, "Hey, I just got diagnosed yesterday and I don't know what to do and I'm overwhelmed." And we were like, "Hey, we got this. We can help you." And it was that night we jumped on the phone with that individual,
Yeah,
and
we were on the phone with her for a good hour,
an
hour and
hour
a
or so,
half.
yeah, and just talking to her about, okay, and my husband, he's like, "Okay, Megan, be careful. I'm very trusting of people." He's like, "Be careful, like you don't know if they're a scammer or if it's fraud or da 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 da." And she started telling her story, and we were just so moved and humbled that somebody would reach out to us. And I think part of the thing that motivates us to keep telling the story is that it helps people to see that Ross is still here and that he's still who he is and as snarky as ever, and we love him for that. And cancer is definitely not fun. It obviously takes a toll on a family and an individual. I'm sure there's so much more that's going on in your brain than I even have the slightest idea about.
I don't even know what's going on up there half the time. So,
But it's just so important to know, that you're okay. And the person said to us during that whole journey that she was so grateful to see that we kept posting because she was worried about the other people and what had happened to them. And the statistics are scary when you first find out that you have ocular melanoma. You first have to spell
Google
it.
can be terrifying.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what we all first go to, right? And so when we saw those, it was terrifying and shocking. But at the same time, you find hope. And I think hope exists in other people.
Yeah, and I think that's why these patient stories are so important, because we have people who do them who are 20-year survivors, and it is possible. So I think that that's a really great reason why we want everyone to tell their story.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We've been going through a lot of milestones lately. We've actually just come up on about the year of the diagnosis and our first kickoff to all of it.
Yeah. First trip to go see a ocular oncologist happened on the 29th of August last year. It's been a wild year. It it feels like a lot shorter of a time.
Well, and it all started because he wanted to read at night.
Yeah, I decided hey, I'm in my 40s. It's been a while since I've gone to see the eye doctor. I've always prided myself on being the only member of my immediate family growing up that didn't need any kind of corrective lenses. My dad had glasses, my mom had glasses, both my sisters had glasses, but not me. So get into my 40s and I realized, hey, I'm having some trouble reading at night, and it's a bit of a humbling experience. So I decided to go see the eye doctor and went in, and I'm my happy bouncy self that I usually am when I'm around people. And they started doing the peripheral vision test where they hold the finger out in front of you, and I could tell when I got over here on my right eye that I was failing. The look on the tech's face was just, oh, this isn't good. And then she left, and then the doctor came in, and the doctor looked in my eye and said, oh, you have a detached retina. I need to send you across town to a retinal specialist.
Right now.
Right now. Like, I know I just dilated your eyes, but go get in your car and drive across town and go to a retinal specialist. So I go to the retinal specialist, and he does all these flashy photography things in my eyes, and they do an ultrasound. It's the first time I'd ever had any type of ultrasound on my eye. That was weird. It was a very
How does that
weird
work?
experience. They put in the first one, they put the gel over top of the eyelid and just went over the eyelid, and apparently that was enough to see that I had a mass in the kind of the back top of my eye, and that was causing some vision loss on basically right against my nose. Hadn't really noticed because it's the portion of my vision where your brain kind of forgets your nose is there. He found what was there. He diagnosed me, told me that I had ocular melanoma, a choroidal lesion, and sent me to a specialist in Houston, Texas. And
Because there's nobody in our state.
there's absolutely nobody in the state of Louisiana who treats this. A lot of cancer treatment where we are in Baton Rouge. A lot of wonderful cancer treatment, but unfortunately not for this specific type of cancer. I called my parents, and as a 44-year-old guy, calling mom and dad, hey, I think I might have cancer. Can you come down and watch the kids so that Megan and I can drive a few hours over to Houston to get everything checked out? And my parents dropped everything, immediately came down, and we were able to make it out there and saw the doctor out there. And she confirmed the diagnosis. And then what happened at that point?
I remember sitting in a room with like a picture of your eyeball with something that looked like Swiss cheese inside of it. And I remember Googling Swiss cheese in my eyeball x-ray. It was a long time, and I'm not going to wait. So
Yep.
it said it's probably eye cancer. I was like, oh my God, Ross, I think you have cancer. After that, it was kind of a whirlwind.
Did all the exams that I had done with the retinal specialist all over again, and a few more that I had never seen before. They confirmed everything, got measurements and all that type of thing, and then I had to come back, I think, to get
We were
measured
gonna leave.
for the
Look,
plaque.
there was just so much chaos and ridiculousness with insurance. Something had happened where they weren't sure if we needed a referral and all this, and so I've worked in a lot of call centers my whole life, and so I just kind of navigated that for Ross. So it was like, okay, look, I think we just need to get everybody on the phone and have a conversation because he has to get fitted for this plaque so that he can get treated for this cancer that he has that we just found out about, and we need to make sure that he's taken care of. So can you guys talk so that we can make sure that we can get in to this appointment on Monday? We have people coming from out of town, so all of this is very orchestrated, trying to figure out where the different pieces fit. So we ended up going to, again, getting him fitted for the plaque, and had our scheduled date for plaque brachytherapy, came back
Yep.
in the middle of September to
Yep.
get that done.
And I was actually I was on the gurney, had the hairnet on, and the gown, and with my butt hanging out and all
No,
that, and IVs going and everything, and then I coughed, and the anesthesiologist happened to be walking by
yeah.
and heard me cough,
She like stopped. She was like, "Rrr," like,
and came in and said, "I don't like the sound of that. I need to listen to your chest." Listened to my chest, and she said, "I think you have a lower respiratory infection. I can't let you go on with the procedure." And
Stop
turned
it.
out that was correct. I did have a lower respiratory infection, and so thank you to the anesthesiologist. You definitely saved my life, or at least
Wow.
saved a lot of people a lot of complications.
right.
Um, but
And so it was just
so
one,
they remeasured, redid the ultrasound right there, and said, okay, we'll reschedule you in a month, and you can come back, and we'll do it. And then
We
after they got
went home.
we went home, very disappointed, of course. Hugged the kids, and hanging out with my parents and all that type of thing. And then I think about a week
couple days
later,
later, yeah.
I got a call from the doctor, and
Bad news. They said that the tumor had gotten bigger, and that they weren't going to be able to use one plaque anymore. That they wanted to use two plaques, and so
like a two-stage process where I would come in, I would get the plaque over, one half of it, and then about 6 weeks later, I would come back to get it done again for the other half. And I wasn't really enthused with the idea of going under anesthesia that many times. I wasn't really hot on the idea of irradiating my eye that much.
and poking the bear, it felt like.
Yeah, it felt like, hey, multiple procedures, there's more of a chance of something spreading, at least in my mind. I don't know how medically sound that theory is.
I think it's important to pause at this moment in the story and say, should we tell them about the BB? I love this part.
All right, so the reason that I had gotten an eye exam about 15 years ago, well, 16 years now, is because about 16 years ago, I took a ricochet shot to that eye with a BB. I was shooting at some cans that I had tied up on a tree, and I got a little bored, and I started shooting at other things, and I shot at a rock, and the rock was too close, and it ricocheted back, and it caught me in the eye. And the first thing out of my mouth was, that was expletive
Really
deleted
stupid.
and then I went inside. I went into the bathroom. I splashed some water in my eye, and fully expecting blood to be pouring down my face, and just absolute chaos. And I lift my head and go to open my eye, and the BB falls out and goes right down the drain of the sink, and my eye was fine. I went to the doctor.
Wow.
They checked it
At
out.
that time, right?
Doctor said there may be a little bit of residual scarring that I can't see at the moment, but everything looks fine. Your eye looks great. So when I started getting things like the flashes of light in my eye from the detached retina, I thought, hey, this must be from that. This must be some residual scarring issue from that BB incident. And no, it wasn't. If my dad happens to watch this, I have to say it has been confirmed for me by 3 different doctors. The BB had absolutely nothing to do with me developing the cancer.
Good to know.
So, we came back home and we were disappointed or whatever, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. The new plaque is now we have to do 2 and all of this stuff. And we just started looking at other options. And I remember turning to him and being like, okay, we have now another month to figure out something else.
What are our options? We can go ahead with the 2-stage plaque. We can change course and take out the eye and go for enucleation, or we can try and get a second opinion. And you seem to be leaning towards enucleation, and I was very adamantly against it. And as soon as I said, I don't want to lose my eye, she immediately, okay, it's your body, your choice. That's what we kept, and we decided to get a second opinion.
And it ends up that one of our friends had an acquaintance that, through, happenstance, that had uveal melanoma. And he was enrolled or had done something with a study up in Philadelphia. And so I had this in the back of my mind. We were already on this track with the doctor. We decided not to go with the clinical trial at that time, but I had it in my mind. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Philly. And so I did. And it didn't end up working out. Again, insurance issues and just trying to figure that out. And I remember going to bed that night really disappointed. Shed a few tears and all that, just to think, that this great guy that I love so much, who's clearly adorable, just is not worth putting all of our fight into. What is that about, And so I woke up the next morning, and I like to play racing games. And so I remember coming to a split in the road, and I said, ooh, options. There are other doctors. And it's like 4:30 in the morning, and I took my coffee cup, and I went and I got on my laptop, and I emailed 42 different medical teams. 42 different medical teams about his ocular melanoma. I sent pictures of his eyeball. I said, look at it. It's untouched. How can you help us? Like, please. And it turns out, through hilariousness, that I actually emailed the MET study instead of the localized study. But they ended up transferring me and getting me over to who I needed to talk to. And he woke up, and I told him, look, Ross, this is what I've done. And if they don't start emailing me back by 12, I'm going to start calling. And
I love it.
And
she made it her mission to find some other option, and we stumbled on the study, and we realized, hey, this could be the ticket. This is, it's something else. It's a different approach. And
basically it just became a game of like who could see him before the other plaque brachytherapy. So we kept that appointment because just in case something didn't work out, we'd had a lot of disappointments before. So we wanted to just keep our options open. So we kept the plaque brachytherapy appointment with the doctor in Texas, and then ended up finding Mayo Clinic. And that was
Dr.
incredible.
Dalton is amazing. Absolutely love her. It's been a wonderful experience. And so we went up and saw her. And
early October when we went up and saw her, just maybe a few weeks before the plaque brachytherapy was scheduled. And she assessed him, gave him a second opinion. We met with the clinical trial, and usually, I guess she said it was like normally a 45-minute conversation.
Yeah, so because they have to, do all the disclaimer stuff and explain everything. We're like, oh no, we've already read it all. We're good. Give me a pen. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
It just didn't seem real, I think, until we went back in November when he got his first dose of darovasertib.
3 pills twice a day
for 6 months.
Was it just 6 months? Was it? Oh, okay.
It was a long time.
She's the administrator in our relationship. I just keep things running.
Well, and we always talk about how important our caregivers are, and I think this is a great example of what the caregiver brings to this fight. Is that she's the one who's emailing on your behalf and making sure you're taking your medicine, and I mean the caregivers, they are the backbone of this.
Well, he does it for me. It's important.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm alive.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's a beautiful testament to a good marriage. Is it should be, mutual.
His original plaque brachytherapy was scheduled for our anniversary, and I was like, "That's not happening. You can't get out of it. Come on."
Yeah, no.
It was our anniversary. I was going to lose to the first one, and the second one was going to end up right around Christmas.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Right, and so we're like, there's got to be a better way. And I think we were able to just take the chance on the clinical trial because, one, everybody was so nice. Mayo is incredible. And the community that they have up there is wonderful.
Aura Biosciences is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on developing precision therapies for solid tumors that aim to preserve organ function. Our lead candidate, Belsar, is currently in late-stage development for primary choroidal melanoma and in early-stage development in other ocular oncology indications and bladder cancer. Our mission is to grow as an innovative global oncology company that positively transforms the lives of patients. For more information, please visit us at aurabiosciences.com.
But with him, we had faith in what the clinical trial folks were telling us. We knew that if we had waited 15 years to get him seen, to discover Lenny. We called the tumor Lenny. Keep a little
Nice.
brevity to it.
Yes.
But we have to get Letty out, and I think that was a
Mhm.
way to help our kids understand what was going on too, because we have the range of children. We have a 15-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So Ross is very busy as a stay-at-home dad. It's a couple full-time jobs.
Absolutely.
There's always some lunch to pack, somewhere to go, some practice that somebody needs to get to, something.
But so we ended up figuring out a way that Ross could go every single month up to Mayo Clinic to get more of the daravasertib, and it ended up shrinking the tumor 50%. If I like to compare it to the size of a BB, because I think everybody can actualize like what a little BB looks like, and so
Yes.
if I think, and you don't quote me on this. Well, you can. I guess you're quoting me on all the things, but
They're recording this here.
Estimate that the human adult eyeball, can hold about 136 BBs. And at the time, when we did all of the math to calculate cylindrical volume to figure out what the size was, Ross's tumor was 53 BBs big when it was
Wow.
first discovered. And by the time in January, when we were doing all the math, he was down to 31 BBs.
Wow.
Yeah. It was insane.
Incredible.
That's awesome. Yes. Incredible. Yes.
And we know like the clinical trial route is not the route for everybody. It's okay if it's not your path, but for Ross, it was the only path.
There was definitely, I mean, even among some of my family, my family is very medical. My mom was an emergency room nurse for over 30 years. Both my sisters worked in hospitals. My oldest sister is now an administrator of hospitals in North Carolina. She does amazing work with folks there. They're all very pragmatic and logical. And when we said, okay, we're changing course, we're going to do something different, and I'm getting a second opinion, they were like, whoa, 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 what?
Why are you delaying this? And,
Yeah, like
and it's okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's on their own journey, and sometimes not everybody understands the journey you're on, and sometimes not everybody's equipped to help you on your journey.
At that moment, I mean, we are so grateful for all of the help that your family has given us, and my family has given us over this period. I mean, we live days travel away from our families, and so for them to just drop everything and help us has been such a wonderful gift. And it's been cool because we've been far away from our family, so they've been able to reconnect with our kids and us, which is nice. It really shows you when you are in times of trouble who is there, and we are very grateful to have this wonderful community by our side. So, right now, Ross went back up in June to have plaque brachytherapy after 6 months of taking this pill.
So on the 16th of June, I had the plaque installed, and then I spent 4 days hanging out in an Airbnb in Rochester, Minnesota, and watching bad movies, because that's just what I do. And on Friday, I went back, and they took the plaque back out, put my eyeball back in, and then I spent...
We spent the night to just rest up and
then we
headed back home.
Yeah, headed back home. It was
sort
a
of
long trip. We had to actually drive from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to our friend's house in Seaside, New Jersey, to drop our kids off with them for a week, so that we could then drive from Seaside, New Jersey, across the north part of the country through Ohio to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, and then reverse on the way back.
Yeah, it was real fun on the way back.
Yeah, I couldn't drive, of course, because I was down an eye, and
40 hours it was more like 60 hours in 4 days. Was it?
Yeah, something along those lines.
I don't even know. That part of my life, I just wanted... There were wonderful times. We enjoyed being on the trip, and I think that's part of what we love about our story, is that we've always wanted to travel, and so we called ourselves, and we have owned, the web domain, the Traveling Withers, for a really long time, but we never really did anything with it or anything like that. And so when Ross got ocular melanoma, it was an opportunity for us to start telling our story and helping other people see the light, because it is dark and it can be really scary.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important just to find other people, connect with them. When I first posted on the Facebook group that Ross had ocular melanoma and I didn't know what to do and I wasn't quite sure how we were going to pay for this, we were looking at $1,700 for 2 weeks in an Airbnb, and just like, I'm sorry, we just paid for school supplies. That's and so Ashley McCreary from Ion Grace ended up reaching out to us. And again, my husband thought it was a scam. I'm so grateful that you're in my life, Ross. You keep me from bad things, but she was like, "No, I'm gonna help you. This is what we do." And I think of all of those moments in this journey and how divine it's been, because the cough led us to the clinical trial, led us to and Facebook led us to Ashley. She didn't start her organization till the same month that Ross had been diagnosed. Like, that's got to be something. Our friend knowing this person in the trial, like, all of these things just coming together are incredible and really make me speechless. I'm not quite sure what to say about them. And we want everyone to get a dilated eye exam. Please get a dilated eye exam. And don't wait 15 years to get an eye exam.
Just because you got good eyes doesn't mean they don't need to get looked at.
For sure. So when you did the clinical trial with the darovasertib, then when you went to do your brachytherapy, you only had to do the one plaque because it had shrunk so much, right?
Correct. Yeah, they
So
just a single plaque, one and done.
That's big.
Huge.
Yeah, it was huge, and I'm so grateful that we knew the people
Grateful our friend
involved.
told us about it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's all just a jumble. I'm thankful for everything that has happened since the diagnosis. The diagnosis, of course, was just this huge thing. I remember getting in the car on the way home from the retinal specialist, and I'm driving down the road, and I'm listening to this song, and all of a sudden I start crying, and I'm not an emotional guy. Tend to be
You're
very stoic.
Yeah, you're wow.
The retinal specialist told me there were three things that basically three stages they were going for. First, they're going to try and save my life. Then they're going to try and save my eye. And if possible, they'll try and save my sight. And
Floored.
yeah, I was just kind of like, okay,
What does that
awesome.
even mean?
Thanks. Thanks for the referral to Texas, and I'll see you guys later. And it didn't really click what I had just been told. And then I got in the car, and I'm listening to it was something in the orange, if anybody wants to know what the actual song was. But listening to this song, and all of a sudden I realized this guy just told me I have cancer, and I'm not ready to die. So what do I do now? And I started bawling in my car, and as I'm driving down the road, which I know is super safe to be dilated eyes, cry, tears streaming down my face, driving down the road in midday traffic. Yeah, that was
Risk
probably
taker, Ross Wither.
made it home safe, didn't hurt anybody else. But yeah, got home and told Megan what was going on, and definitely a very sobering experience. But everything that has happened since then I almost want to say miraculous. The people who knew the people who answered the emails, everything just clicked and fell into place for this journey for me to get to this place where
Across the country.
where I'm hopefully on the other side of things, and I can move on with my life and watch my kids grow up.
Yeah, I call that serendipitous. It's just all unfolding the way it's supposed to. And I think that's great. And I love that you're coming and talking about doing a clinical trial, because I think there's so much need for people to do clinical trials, and a lot of people are hesitant or afraid to do them. So thank you for talking about that and bringing some light to that, because we're not going to advance without the clinical trials.
Absolutely. There's a lot of medical research going on that people just don't understand. Honestly, a lot of research happening that the researchers don't even understand what they're doing. Just for example, things like Ozempic, the GLP-1 blockers, those came from researchers looking at the Gila monster and saying, hey, this creature only eats twice a year. How does it do that? And they started analyzing its saliva, and they realized that it does this miraculous job of regulating blood sugar, and they were able to then turn that around and turn it into a pharmaceutical to help humans.
I did not know that.
Ross is a huge store of a whole bunch of wonderful fun facts.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh. Gila monsters. Who knew? Wow.
They
But it's
had
true.
no idea what they were looking for. They were just like, hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. We should look at that. And this whole medical breakthrough came from it.
You
Oh my
never know what's
gosh.
going to hit. You never know
Right.
where things are going to go. And if we can help the person next, if Ross can help the person next to us, like I've been telling him since the beginning, I said, Ross, you're going to cure cancer, man. Like, let's go. That's how we're approaching this battle. This is what's going to happen. And I think not we're, but we're like everybody, if we all just contribute and keep fighting and keep going.
Never give up, never
Definitely.
surrender.
Absolutely.
Ross has always had the mindset of the universe tends to work out and unfold the way that it should. And I think that that's just annoyingly positive in this situation. But I'm grateful. We tell him has to be very, very, very careful with his words.
You
Didn't realize you were going
know,
to bring this up.
I am.
So, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and for quite some time, I have gone without any kind of personal time because the kids always need something, and there's always something around the house that needs doing. I was getting a little frustrated that, hey, I need some me time, and I said to the universe, I just want a week off. Just give me a week off where I don't have any responsibilities. I can eat whatever I want. I can play video games and watch bad movies and not have to worry about anybody bothering me. This
Not
is
like
not
this.
what I meant.
nope.
Not like this. So now I tell him he has to be very careful with his words because apparently manifestation is something that Ross can just do. To give himself a week off. I don't think he manifested the cancer. That would be horrible. No, we are just so grateful for all of the opportunities that have come along the way. And if there's someone who is thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do and I'm paralyzed with all these choices and these statistics, just understand that you don't have to run the whole marathon all in the same day or even in the same moment. Just take it step by step.
Yep.
And understand that you're gonna back up a little bit sometimes. And that's okay, because I think that backing up allows you to see the larger picture, and that's a gift.
Biggest thing is just to remember, breathe. What's going to happen is going to happen. There's, beyond what you can actually control, getting the help that's out there and finding ways to, help yourself. It's, sorry, I lost where I was going.
I think we both practice radical acceptance. Like for us right now, we're in a standstill. Talked to a family member earlier today, and she asked, well, so how's Ross? What's going on with him? And I'm like, well, really, we don't know. We're in this space of, in a couple of weeks, we go see what happened with the plaque and get his MRI and his CT scans and all that stuff.
This will be the first scans and real exams since the procedure. So I had a 10-day follow-up where they looked and made sure everything was healing the way it was supposed to, and nothing looked, horribly wrong or anything like that. But here in early September, where we head back up to Rochester, and I get to go into the scary loud machine again and
Try not to fall asleep.
try not to fall asleep. That happened the first time I got an MRI. I actually fell asleep, and when I was supposed to be holding my breath, the guy kept yelling at me.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting. With the radical acceptance, we just try to figure out, like, what's the next step? The next step is we make it up to Mayo in the middle of September and we figure out what's going on. And spending time in worry is just not productive. For us. It might be productive for you. I don't know.
Worry's a lot like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. I don't think think worry's productive for anybody. I think that if you can find anything to give yourself hope and look forward to, and we just did an episode, Danae and I, where we talked about scanxiety. And one of the things that she recommends is to have like a carrot, something that you can say, all right, I have to have my scans regardless of what the results are. I'm going to go treat myself with, a massage or something special that I want to do so that you are having something to look forward to. And I think that that's important to get your mind on something positive.
Yeah, we definitely found that thinking of it, like we hadn't been on a trip together without the kids in, what was it, 10 years?
Yeah, at least.
When we went to Houston. And so it was nice to just reconnect and just be like, okay, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to travel. We're going to have fun. We're going to make the best of it because these are the hands that were dealt and this is what it is.
That's right. And you can look for those little silver linings and you can make the best of it as you navigate what you have to navigate anyway. Or
Right.
you can wallow and be in the despair and see all the negatives of it. And we all have those moments, and that's okay. We're not judging. I mean, we're all going to do that. But if you can recognize both sides and that you do have a choice between them, if you can gravitate towards those silver linings, go for it as much as you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, like, say, how do you stay so positive with all of the stuff that's going on? And it's like, it's a choice. Then I make it every day. We make it every day when we wake up. Sometimes after the first cup of coffee, we make that choice.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are days where you have to make that choice multiple times throughout the day. And
For sure.
maybe you have to remake the choice after you have a moment of like, because I mean, realistically, everybody going through this has the moments of why me? This isn't fair. This is the worst thing ever. And that's okay. That's expected. And then, get through that. And then, hey, but I also have this and I also am looking forward to this. And, we're just trying to give those little seeds of hope as you navigate your journey.
Castle Biosciences is a proud sponsor of this I Believe podcast. Castle's innovative uveal melanoma tests provide valuable information about the risk of your eye cancer spreading to help you and your healthcare team individualize the management of your disease. To learn more, visit castlebiosciences.com.
Sometimes when I'm frustrated about something, I'll give myself a time limit to really just feel it and lean into it. So I'll say, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to be really feeling this. And then I'm going to leave it and try along. But again, my journey is not the same as Ross's. And my journey is not the same as the patient's. A caretaker is different. And there's a distance and a closeness that comes with that. But like Ross said, my mission has become to just help him get into spaces where people are interested in his eyeball.
I agree with you. I have heard 30 minutes. Give yourself 30 minutes and then move on, because after that you're wallowing. So if you feel the emotion, acknowledge it, give yourself 30 minutes and then move on.
30
So
minutes
if you
is
can,
way kinder than I was being to myself.
yeah, I've heard 30. I mean, whatever works for you. But I think the point is just you hit the point where then it does become kind of wallowing, and then you're not going to help yourself. And we're not judging. We're just saying you're not going to help yourself.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories is the story of this donkey who fell into a well. And the farmer decides that he needs to just fill in the well because the donkey's old and he's not going to get out.
Lost
It's okay,
cause.
I've told Ross this story. Please help me tell it. That's fine. So the donkey is braying and all that stuff, in the hole, and the farmer's filling in the dirt. And then all of a sudden, the donkey stops. And the farmer goes, okay, he's accepted his fate. He's covered in dirt or whatever. Who knows? The farmer's really mean in this story. But anyway,
he is.
so...
Not a nice guy.
No, not a nice guy at all. And so all of a sudden he's filling in the hole and he starts to see the ears of the donkey start to emerge from the hole. And the donkey was shaking off the dirt and just stepping up. And I think that's something that I've kept with me for a really long time, is that the world is going to throw things at you. And all that you can do is you can wallow in it and you can be covered and consumed by it. Or you can take a moment and just shake it off and step up and use that as strength to motivate your journey further.
I love it. I think that's great. And I think, just acknowledging that everybody has the hope, the positivity, the light, and the wallow, the self-indulgent, the dark. And you're going to walk between them all day. And it's up to you which one you want to gravitate toward.
Absolutely.
Balance is important.
It is. It is important. And it's okay when you do have those moments of wallowing. We're going to use that word. I don't know if everybody likes that word, but I'll just use it for right now. You're going to have those moments where you're going to find yourself there and go, that's okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself that grace that it's okay. You slipped up. You had a bad day. Maybe you wallowed the entire day, maybe a week. That's okay. Try it. Just try again.
Right. I often try to think of what your best friend would say to you. So talk to yourself like your own best friend. Like I don't talk to my best friend like that.
Exactly. Yes.
Because we're so much kinder to everyone else than ourselves.
That's 100% true.
I always tell our kids, there's nothing wrong with your feelings. There's nothing wrong with your emotions. Your emotions are real and they're completely justified because you're feeling them. What really matters is how you react to them and then interact with the world because of them. So that's what you need to work on controlling, is just your reaction to your feelings.
So what is on your horizon now?
Well, I mean, we've got the first scans coming up here in early September, and then after that, I travel back up for study visits every 3 months, and I do that for the next 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, at some point, I think I'm probably going to need. I think they call it an eyelid tuck, because I've got this like raised eyebrow thing going on, which is funny because I've never had independent control of this eyebrow in my life.
Superpower.
I can raise the left one, no problem, but the right one that's the only way I can get this eye to open right now. But my vision's good. I've got one field of vision. I'm apparently healing really quickly. I can drive again, which is super helpful.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Especially with 4 kids. You're going to be driving all over. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap up? Any last message?
Story continues.
Yeah.
Right? The journey is the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
We're going to keep updating people at thetravelingwithers.com. You can find us all over the internet. Just do a little search for us. And
Thank you, everybody, and to all the doctors, the nurses, the technicians, the bus drivers, the
friends and family,
the people at the hotel, everybody.
Rental car folks. It's been incredible.
Couldn't have made it this far without all those people.
Everybody has a nugget of wisdom, and it seems to come right at the right time. And so we're just serendipitous. I think that's the best way to describe it.
I like it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate hearing your story. We love to hear the positivity. We love to hear someone who's doing a clinical trial. So thank you just for sharing your story. It's so important.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. And to everyone who is watching, thank you, because we could not do any of this without the viewers. So please subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. You can find us on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple, other places you can get a podcast. And to our sponsors, thank you so much. Our sponsors are sponsoring us because you guys are watching. So without the sponsors and the viewers, none of this would be possible. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our lovely sponsors. Check out their websites as well. And if you go to our website, acurensight.org, there's a button up at the top to subscribe to our newsletter. Please subscribe. We send out a monthly newsletter with all of the latest information that you need to stay up to date in the ocular melanoma community, as well as some other little tidbits throughout the month. And the biggest news we have right now is the I Believe Survivorship Seminar is coming up next month in October in Raleigh. We really, really hope to see everyone there in person. We will be posting the videos of the sessions if you can't make it so everyone can get the information, but we're very excited. So more information coming on that. Follow our socials for all of that information, or the newsletter, as I said. And also, another thing I'd like to tell you guys, we have a Tuesday night Zoom meeting on Facebook. You can get the link there, as well as our other socials, and that goes through Zoom. That's a great way to connect with other OMIs and find a friend, maybe a buddy. And if you are in a situation where you are new to the community and you're not sure where to start, check out our website. There's a lot of great resources. Let us know what we can do for you. All of us have emails that are our name at acureinsight.org, so you can email any of us. We're happy to help. And until next time, I hope you all stay safe and well.